Hi, I'm Diana. Welcome. Today I am going to show you something that I have just recently learned. I have to admit, I'm guilty as my other artist friends. Normally I buy canvases that are a little more expensive and they don't have these, what you call, keys. And if by chance I have gotten a canvas that had a little bag of keys stapled to the back, I would normally just throw them out because really I didn't know what they were for. But the other day I was noticing one of my paintings got really super loose, like really loose after I painted it, and I thought, well, why? And so I found out that it's because it needed these keys in the back. So I went around looking for keys to put in my canvas, and my girlfriend artist, I asked her if she had any extra ones, and she had actually them all over the place. And she goes, yeah, I just whatever. Take what you want, I don't use them. So I thought, well, this would be a good video to show the difference of using them and not, or at least using them. So I have come across a few canvases that are not that inexpensive, but you can still paint on them, which of course, this one here is 16 by 16. It's triple primed cotton, but it's very lightweight. And it's acid free. So what I'm going to show you today is how to put these little guys in. And then also it's triple primed, but I'd like to, and I have read that if I wanted to do an oil painting on top of already primed canvas, it's always good to do a few coats of gesso. But first off, we're going to put these keys in the corner. So we flip them over, and we have, this has a nice, some of them have a sharper point, but this one has a little squared off point. You put like it pointed to the ends, and you have slots. You see in the back, you have all these little slots. Can you see that? And one is usually higher than the other one. So you pick which one's the lowest, and you stick it in, and you go all the way around. Maybe I'll just do one and carry on from there. So let's put it in this way, and then this one will go down through here, line it up, and go through. I'll do all that. Repeat it all the way along. That one's in like that. It's my head in the way, so you can see. Push it in, and then see what I'm doing? That is wrong. What you want to do is follow it along, straight side through. And what it does, oh, this one's hard to get in. And you'll find that you might have to switch them up. There, that one works. What this does, this one going in will push this board frame this way towards me. This one will push this frame, and it'll expand the canvas. So when you're painting and it's wet, it gets loose, I've learned. Go all the way through. So I couldn't believe the difference of the one that I did once I put the keys in. It's hard for me to see where these are going. What I'm trying to show you. There we go. Stick them in, they actually go in pretty easy at first. This one must be a little fatter than the rest. Can't get it in. Isn't that funny? It's always one thing. It's always something. Okay. So once you have them in, you want to see how tight they are, and then tap them down and in. Maybe I'll do one. You can see. Tap it down. You don't want to be too rough. You break the frame. I always wondered what they were for, and now I know. Do all corners. There, that's the one that was hard. One more. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Careful you don't wreck the... Good and tight. Now, whoa, look at that. It's like a drum. So that's that. So once we have those in and it feels really nice and tight, you want to put some gesso on it. And these days people are gessoing in all sorts of colors, but I like to just do it white and then put a color down. This gesso I'm using is latex basic acrylic gesso. Even if I plan to do an oil painting on top of this, acrylic is perfect. So this is basically just getting it on. Fills in some of the cotton. And I think with this canvas I would do 2 coats. Just makes when you actually do your painting, it'll be a smoother finish. Not so many rough spots. And if you're going to use oil, it's very important to have, I would even do 3 coats of gesso on top so the oil doesn't seep through. So when you have your canvas gessoed and you know what you're painting on here, that is something you need to decide next is color of the sides you want to put on. Now, if you are doing a landscape, a lot of people, this will dry, a lot of people wrap it around the sides. Like if the tree's here, you'll have the tree branches, the lake, whatever you have along in the painting to wrap around. But then there are other times you just want a black on the sides, or what's quite popular right now seems to be a dark gray. And I often will put teal I like teal on the sides, especially if I have a lot of teal in the painting itself. But most often a black will be a really nice finish. So to quicken this, I have a little dryer here because we want to put one more coat. I normally like to let things dry naturally, but for this, we need to hurry it up a bit. Nobody likes watching paint dry. So that's dry enough. I'm going to just turn it and go the other way for their second coat. There are some people that like to put like 10 layers and sand in between each. I do find on a board, a wood board, that sanding in between is quite important. But on canvas like this, I don't think so. So you just quick going in the other direction so it seeps down into all the crevices of the canvas. Might have put it on a little bit too much. Oh well. Makes for a smoother and not as, what is that, doesn't seep through as much. Which is always a good thing. Okay, isn't that quick? Just run it back and forth, clean up the edges, and we will dry that now. Ooh, fun. Okay, that's nice and dry, or dry enough. So let's do our sides right now, and we're using acrylic. And I'm assuming that I'll be painting the top part in oil. So I like to do the sides in acrylic. Let's put a nice brush here. And we just, can we see that? I bring it from the back and I whip it to the front. This little motion like that. This is not a very good black. Can you see it? And you might have to put 2 coats on this too, but I find it so much easier to decide ahead of time what I'm going to do on the sides, because I have been so excited about doing a painting, and I'll do the painting and I thought, oh darn, what am I going to do about the sides? And if you do it in oil, you're painting in oil, and then you want to do your sides, afterwards you end up having to do it in oil, which takes forever to dry. Well, not forever. It's exaggerating. I exaggerate. But so if you do decide to have a black or gray or blue or whatever, do it in acrylic ahead of time. It just is so much easier. And you don't have to worry about it. So that's what that looks like. I'm using a black, and you take it from the back and flip it forward. And then you clean it up. I've actually sometimes wanted to wrap it around with the scene and have to go back and figure out the colors that I've used for the front, and it's kind of difficult when you do that. So go all the way around, let it dry. Remember, start from the back with the brush and flip it forward. It gives a better clean front finish. So just do that, go all the way around. Clean it up. Okay. Go all the way around, and I'm telling you, it's so much easier to do it ahead of time. Have a plan beforehand, what you're gonna put on this canvas. So you have a inexpensive canvas. What you do, you put your keys in, which are those, which are super for tightness. And then you put a couple more gesso coats on, and you decide what you're going to have on the sides. And here I've decided to do a black and acrylic. And that is it. Happy painting.